Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we break down big corporate moves and maybe find a few hidden secrets behind those fancy filings. Get ready because today we're diving into Intellia Therapeutics and some interesting news about their gene editing therapies. Before we get started, if you enjoy these simplified dives into complex corporate documents, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, come join our community on Discord. The link is in the description below. Intellia Therapeutics Incorporated has just filed a Form 8, which is basically a report for big events that happen between their regular financial reports. Think of it as a company's quick update to the public and the Securities and Exchange Commission. The earliest event they are reporting happened on the 8th of November 2025. That is our starting point for today's story. Intellia Therapeutics Incorporated is a company focused on developing new medicines using a technology called CRISPR, which is like a molecular scissors for editing genes. They are aiming to create one-time treatments for serious diseases. So first up, on the 8th of November, Intellia announced some positive news about a treatment called Lonvo, also known as Lonvo-Z. This drug is being tested for hereditary angioedema, or HAE, a condition that causes swelling attacks. The data they shared is from a study combining results from earlier phases of their research phase 1 and phase 2. Let's dig into that Lonvo-Z data. They looked at 32 patients who received a single dose of 50 milligrams. The goal of this therapy is to permanently reduce a protein called plasma kallikrein, which is involved in HAE attacks. And the results are pretty impressive. They saw a big drop, a mean reduction of 89% in plasma kallikrein at 24 months. That means the therapy was working to lower that protein over a long period. Even more importantly, this led to a huge reduction in HAE attacks. For 31 out of the 32 patients, that is 97%, they were completely free from attacks and did not need any preventative medication for a long time. Imagine living life without worrying about those sudden swelling episodes. This is what they are aiming for with a one-time treatment. Out of the 11 patients who were originally given the 50 milligram dose in the second phase of the study, 10 remained attack-free and prophylaxis-free for a significant period lasting from a few months up to over 2.5 years. One patient did experience an attack, but still showed a 59% reduction in their attack rate. On the safety side, the 50 milligram dose appeared to be well tolerated for up to 3 years of follow-up in the study. They did not identify any serious long-term risks. The most common side effects were related to the infusion itself, like reactions, fatigue, and headaches. Some other common side effects included common colds and muscle or joint pain, which are pretty standard for many medications. Importantly, liver enzymes and blood clotting were generally normal. There was one serious adverse event of blood clot in the lung, but it resolved and the patient was okay. The study is continuing with a phase 3 trial called HILO, which has finished enrolling patients, and they expect to have the main results by mid-26. Now let's switch gears to another important update from the 10th of November. Intellia also shared good long-term data for a different gene editing therapy called Nexigerin-Ziclumeran, or NextZ. This one is for a condition called transthyretin amyloidosis, or ATR amyloidosis, a serious disease that affects the heart and nerves. Similar to Lonvo-Z, is also designed as a one-time treatment. This therapy aims to reduce the production of a misfolded protein called transthyretin, or TTR, which builds up in organs like the heart and causes damage. The data presented is from the first phase of their study with patients suffering from ATR amyloidosis, specifically with cardiomyopathy, which means it affects the heart muscle. The results shared were based on data collected up to the 23rd of August 2025. The study included 36 patients, a good number of whom had advanced disease, meaning their condition was quite severe when they started the trial. The key takeaway here is that the treatment was consistently effective over time. All patients continued to show a sustained reduction in that problematic TTR protein with no signs of the effect weakening. For patients who had been followed for up to 36 months, about 3 years, the average reduction in TTR protein in their blood was 87%. This shows the long-lasting power of the gene-edited therapy. Beyond just reducing the protein, the therapy also showed benefits for the patient's hearts. At 24 months, a significant proportion of patients showed either their heart condition stabilizing or even improving compared to before they took the drug. They measured this using various markers of heart health and function. Specifically, 81% of patients saw their heart failure classification stay the same or get better by 24 months. This is a big deal, especially for those with NYHA class 3rd, which is a more severe stage of heart failure. It suggests the therapy can help patients feel better and function at a higher level. Perhaps most strikingly, they presented mortality data. In a comparison with a similar group of patients who did not receive the treatment, those who got NextZ had a significantly lower death rate. The death rate for those treated was about 3.9 deaths per 100 patient years compared to 12.7 deaths per 100 patient years in the matched group. This is a substantial and statistically meaningful difference, hinting at the potential to not only treat the disease, but also improve survival. NextZ was also found to be generally well tolerated. The main side effects were again infusion-related reactions and some elevation in liver enzymes, but these did not go beyond a mild to moderate level grade 2. Any deaths that occurred in the long-term follow-up were attributed to the progression of the underlying heart disease, which is expected in this patient group. However, there is a significant setback. On the 29th of October, the US Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, placed a clinical hold on the ongoing phase 3 trials for NextZ called Magnitude and Magnitude -2. This means they have paused these studies pending further review or information. This is a serious issue that could delay the path to approval for this promising therapy. Now, the company also included a section on forward-looking statements. This is standard practice, and it means they are talking about what they hope and expect to happen in the future regarding their drug development and approvals. But they also caution that actual results could be very different due to various risks. These risks and uncertainties are quite important. They include things like protecting their patent rights, navigating regulatory approvals, and the success of their collaborations, especially with Regeneron Pharmaceuticals Incorporated. A key risk they point out is that their drug candidates Lonvo and NextZ might not end up being successfully developed or even brought to market. This is a common disclaimer in biotech, but it is important to remember these are still experimental treatments. Looking at the exhibits, this filing includes the press releases detailing both the Lonvo and NextZ data which we've discussed. So, what is the big picture here? Intellia Therapeutics is definitely on the cutting edge of gene editing therapy. The data for Lonvo in hereditary angioedema looks incredibly promising, with a high percentage of patients becoming attack-free. This could be a game changer for people suffering from HAE, offering a one-time fix. The NextZ data for amyloidosis also shows significant promise in reducing the harmful protein and improving patient conditions, potentially even reducing mortality. However, the clinical hold on the phase 3 trials for NextZ is a major red flag. It shows that even with promising early data, regulatory hurdles can be significant and unexpected. This development could delay or even jeopardize the future of NextZ. Intellia's strength lies in its innovative technology and the strong early results from its lead programs. Their weakness lies in the inherent risks of drug development and the significant regulatory challenges they are facing with NextZ. The market will be watching closely to see how they navigate this clinical hold, and if they can get their Magnitude trials back on track. The potential rewards are huge if they succeed, but the risks are equally substantial. Alright, that is our breakdown of Intellia Therapeutics' latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Do you think gene editing is the future of medicine, or are there too many risks involved? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.